Hi, this is Eddie Smits. Welcome to this free training. And first of all, I want to express something. It's not because it is a free training that it's not of much value. On the contrary, when you take this serious, you will find that this is really a way to improve your leadership, to improve your overall well-being, actually, but also a very good way to decrease stress, to have less stress, and to find that your life can be in ease and flow, that your business can be in ease and flow. This been said, let's dive into it. Welcome to this free training to improve your leadership with positive intelligence. Now, to have an optimal result for this experience, I must ask you to stop this video and do the quick saboteur assessment first. Just copy this link in your browser, make a screenshot of it, type it in your browser, and do the assessment first, because we are going to talk about saboteurs in this free training, and these saboteurs are the key to understanding and to get the insight why that you have stress in your life, why that things are not working in your life, etc. So if you don't do the assessment first, you can do the training, no problem, but it won't have the same effect. You won't know what I'm talking about in certain things in the assessments, in the training, sorry. So it is really vital that you do the assessment first. So take a screenshot, type it in your browser, do the assessment, and come back when you have the results. So, welcome back. So, I hope you did the saboteur assessment, because this is really necessary to get all out of this session. I'm going to start with telling you a little bit about myself. Then we're going to explain what positive intelligence exactly is. How does it remove your stress? I'm going to share some quick wins, and we're going to see what can be next for you. All right. So I am Eddie Smits. I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm an author, a licensed NLP practitioner. I'm a certified management drives trainer, certified cognitive behavioral therapy coach, a certified mindset coach, certified life coach. I have a bachelor's degree in pedagogy, and I was a professional artist for almost 25 years. To be more precise, a professional clown. Yes. And now I'm a mental fitness coach. Now, about this clown career, I did it for 25 years. And in this 25 years, I was a hospital clown for 10 years. And as you know, hospital clowns visit children in hospitals. And I visited more than 10,000 sick and palliative children as a hospital clown. Now, about this experience, that was in 2012, I wrote a book, Model C. And in this book, I wrote about how you can use this attitude, these principles, these things that we do as a hospital clown, how you can use this in your personal life and in your business. Because you can imagine, if you step into a room of a child that has literally just a few days to live, you're gonna need a lot of leadership. You're gonna lead. You're gonna have to be a strong personality. There are a lot of things you need to be to make this a good experience for the child and his parents. And so that's also the period that my personal development journey started, and it has been going on since then, and it's still going on, of course. But what I learned there is that, and what I experienced there, I now found that there is a science that supports all the things that I wrote in 2012 in this book. It's a simple and easy to learn system, which is also sustainable. So that means that the thing that I always encountered in my coaching business is that when you coached people, let's say for 3 months, they were motivated and they were ready to go, and they could let's say, conquer the whole world. But the problem was that it didn't last. You know, at some point, then they were lost, or you needed to advise them again. And with positive intelligence, it's a little bit like learning to ride a bike. You learn how to ride a bike, and you've got the skill for your whole life. So that's what I so love about positive intelligence. And more the more I am into this positive intelligence thing, the more I feel that it's really the key for your overall well-being, and your overall well-being will drip off in your business as a leader, will drip off in your family. It's something that that you're going to learn, and that serves you in so many ways, not only in business, also in your private life. So what is positive intelligence? And in one sentence, it's your capacity to respond to life's challenges with positive rather than a negative mindset. And that's also what a clown does. You know, a clown, a hospital clown, comes into this room with his sick child, and he changes the perspective. And that's exactly also what positive intelligence does. It changes the perspective that you have on life, on business, on problems, on stress. And by changing the perspective, it also is the solution to your problem, because most of the things we encounter are just in our heads. And if we can clear that, if we can clear our head, if we can look upon challenges with a different mindset, that's mostly half of the solution or even more. So the impact of mental fitness, which is the result of positive intelligence, right? That it will increase your peak performance, it will give you peace of mind, and overall wellness, and it will provide you healthy relationships. Here also in business and in your private life. Now, positive intelligence is not something that is just invented by someone. Well, it is invented. It is tested by Sherzad Shamil, who is a Stanford professor, and he did so much research for this. For example, hundreds of CEOs and their executive teams did his training. He did it with Stanford students, world-class athletes. More than 500,000 participants were involved in it from 50 countries. And it's all resumed in his best-selling book, Positive Intelligence, which is translated into 20 languages. And if I can advise you to read one book, it should be this. So just a tip at the side. Now, let's talk about stress. Stress is the #1 negative emotion nowadays with people. Everyone has some kind of stress nowadays. But stress can be helpful as a kind of alert, right? That means when you feel stress, when you are stressed, you know that something is not right in your life, in your business, whatever. So it's an alarm, it's a trigger, and you should consider it that. Because if you don't, and if you let stress rule your life, it has a devastating impact on your body, on your mood, on everything, actually, on your habits. Just a few on your body, you have headaches, you can feel muscle tensions, chest pain. On your mood, you can have anxiety, restlessness, lack of motivation. On your habits, you can start overeating or undereating. You can have angry outbursts, and so on, and so on, and so on. So the impact of stress is gigantic, and actually it ruins your life. So what is stress exactly? Let us see what it exactly is. Now, stress comes from your saboteur lie. And in the assessment, you know now what your saboteurs are. And stress is always related to your saboteurs. But your saboteurs lies. A saboteur is something that holds you back from what you want to accomplish or whatever, or what you want to be. And that is what causes you stress. The thing is, if you can't be present, that means if you let your saboteurs rule your mind, that causes you stress. So that means the stress is caused in your survivor brain region. So we'll see in a moment how we can switch from our survivor brain or reptile brain, like it's also called, to our sage. We call it sage. That's the part of the brain where things happen how they should happen and where we avoid stress. So let's talk about these saboteurs in our survivor brain and the sage in our positive intelligence brain. So the saboteurs, they are in our brainstem, limbic system, and parts of the left brain, while our sage or PQ brain, positive intelligence brain, is located in the middle prefrontal cortex, the empathy circuitry, and parts of the right brain. Now, the saboteurs or our survivor brain, reptile brain, motivates you through negative emotions. So, of course, the sage, the PQ brain, motivates you through positive emotions. Negative emotions are fear, stress, anger, guilt, shame, insecurity. In other words, they have their attention on the future or on the past. While in the sage brain, it's about empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose, which is 100% attention on the present. So see the importance to change or to switch from your survivor brain to your PQ brain. Now we have 10 saboteurs and there are 5 sage powers. So that's all, right? If you know how that works, that's all you need to know. And that's how you can, and that's all there is to know actually about positive intelligence. So that makes it simple, that makes it something that you can rely on, makes it something that you can put in your brain and never forget. Now, the biggest saboteur, and we all have that, is the judge. We judge ourselves because we think we are stupid, because we think we don't work enough, hard enough, etc., etc. We also judge others, maybe also because they are stupid, or because they do things that we don't like, or because we are maybe jealous about them, whatever. So we judge others, and we also judge circumstances. And COVID is the best example I can give. There are so many people who blame all their misfortune on COVID, but that's only circumstances. The other saboteurs are the controller, the hyperachiever, and the restless. And you have the stickler, the pleaser, the hypervigilant. You have the avoider, the victim, and the hyper-rational. In normal circumstances, we all have these saboteurs, but some of them are stronger than others. And that's what the assessment brought you. So if you haven't done the assessment yet, this is, again, an invitation to do the assessment, because you see that all what's going to follow is we're going to keep on talking about these saboteurs, and it will be so much more, it will give you so much more value that you know your own saboteurs, and especially the top 3 of your saboteurs. So, about these saboteurs, you might think they generate success. For example, the hyperachiever is a good example, and the hyperachiever will say, this is my saboteur. My saboteur makes me my success. By being a hyperachiever, I can accomplish all these things. And that's true for a part, but it will never give you happiness, right? That's also a lot of times the problem with hyperachievers, that they don't feel happy. They are working, they are getting their goals, but they don't feel happy. Now, in the sage part, if you use that part of your brain, you will generate your highest success. So much more than you can do with this hyperachiever, and you have sustained happiness. So again, here, the lie of the hyperachiever is, no, if I have this hyperachiever, I will, that's the only way to have success. But it's not true. You know, I always compare it a little bit with a balloon, right? A balloon that you blow up very strong, you know, with the least it happens, it will pop, right? It's so stressed, it's so full, it will pop. While if you don't blow it up the whole way, you can manipulate it, right? That was it. And it won't pop that hard. So that's a little bit the difference between working with your saboteurs and working in Sage. Now, what is the Sage perspective is that every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift and opportunity. That is the Sage perspective. So let's talk about these 5 Sage powers. Well, Sage powers will help you switch to your Sage. Normal, right? First one is empathize. And we are not going to empathize only with others, but also with ourselves. And we keep forgetting that. We're beating ourselves up for things we do, and we forget that we first of all, we need to empathize with ourselves, right? So that's the first Sage power. The second Sage power is explore. Now, what do we mean with explore? Is a little bit like an anthropologist, right? You explore with great curiosity, with an open mind, with deep curiosity even, but without any fear or agenda. Only the discovering is worth its award. That's also, by the way, what a clown does, right? He does things, and actually he just does things because he is curious, because he wants to know what's going on. He is childishly curious, and that's what gives him his power, and also what brings the laughter. So here again, we need to learn to explore like children again. With all we want to do is explore. We see something for the first time, like a child, and we explore. Now, when do we explore? Do I know what's important to know, right, about this before coming to a conclusion, decision, or action? So I really need to know what's important here. Now, the emotions that come along with exploring is curiosity, fascination, openness, and awe and wonder. That's what you need to go into deep exploration. Another Sage power is innovate. Innovate is a desire to improve the obvious initial ideas. And it requires letting go of initial ideas and generating more. Often we don't come up with new ideas because we think, okay, the old, what we have, it's okay, or we don't have everything, or that nothing else exists. So innovation requires that we are letting go of the things that are there for the moment. And a lot of people have difficulties with that, but it's necessary to innovate in a proper way. To help you, you can have this mindset, the 10% rule. And that means that the other person is at least 10% right. And that way, we are going to focus on what is right instead of what is wrong. That's the innovate power. Now, the emotions that come with innovate power is joy, excitement, playfulness, and spontaneity, right? These are the emotions we need to feel when we explore. Another Sage power is navigate. Navigate enables us to sort out what truly matters and what doesn't. It guides us through connecting you with a deeper sense of meaning, values, and purpose. And it aligns both the small and the largest steps. Now, a really powerful technique to learn how to navigate is the flash forward technique, where we're going to look back on our lives, where we flash forward ourselves as a wise and elderly person, and we're going to look back at the situation, what happened or what would appear that happened. And often we will see when we do that, that the things that we are so stressed about actually are meaningless, and there's no need to feel stressed about it. And a very important Sage power is the activate power. We need to move into action, but in a calm, clear-headed, and laser-focused manner. And it has to be fierce and fearless. Otherwise, our activate power isn't strong enough and it will lead us to nothing, actually. If we just, some people are just busy to be busy, and then, of course, you can activate as much as you want, but you have to be calm, clear-headed, and laser-focused. So how does reducing stress with positive intelligence work? For starters, you can't think your way out of stress. People that are stressed are starting to think, and why am I so stressed? And why is this going on? And all these things. So they even make it worse by thinking that they can reduce everything by thinking about it. Because the harder they think, the harder you think, the more you activate the survivor brain. And the worse it gets. Now, staying in this negative emotion hurts your ability to see clearly and respond with empathy, curiosity, creativity, or laser-focused action. So these are the sage powers, but as long as you stay in this negative emotion, you can't use these sage powers. So you have to switch from this negative emotion, which is your saboteur. How do you do that? That's a really simple thing. And it's so simple that some people don't even believe it, but it works perfectly. It's done by PQ reps. We call it PQ reps. And we call it PQ reps, repetitions, because it's muscle building. We build the muscle so we can go more easy from our reptile brain to the other part of our brain, where the PQ brain is. Now, what are the PQ reps? Well, they bring you in the present, they activate your sage, and sometimes it might be all you need to do to reduce your stress at that moment. It is a daily routine, but just a few minutes. That's why we call it mental fitness, muscle building. You can do it throughout the day, which gives you cortisol, which calms you down. And it doesn't even have to be long. You can do it anywhere, because it activates this self-command, and with self-command, I mean to learn to change from your survival brain to your PQ brain. So let's do a few of these PQ reps so that you have a good idea of what it is. So let me ask you to close your eyes, to sit in your chair, up straight, with 2 feet on the ground, that you are grounded. Put your hands wherever you want to put them, and take a few very deep breaths. Okay, just bring your breath back to normal. Now feel how your body is occupying your chair. Feel the weight of your body on your chair. Feel how your arms are resting on your chair or wherever they are resting. Be conscious of where your arms rest. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel how they are on the floor, how their weight is on the floor. And even feel your toes. If you can't find your toes, maybe you can wiggle them a little bit so you can find your toes. Let's now move on to our breath and feel how our belly, our stomach, or our chest is moving in and out while we are breathing. Focus on that. Focus on the temperature of the air that we breathe when you inhale and when you exhale through your nose. When you inhale, temperature, and when you exhale, the temperature. Now, focus on the farthest away sound you hear. What's the farthest away sound? And focus on that. And now focus on the sound that is closest to you. Focus on that sound. Okay, if you're ready, you can open your eyes. This was just few PQ reps. And if you were with me, if you did the exercises, then you will feel totally calm now. That's because we are now, you didn't feel stress, you didn't feel anything. We are now out of our survival brain into our sage brain. That's all there is. That's our PQ reps. And to get a little bit more insight in saboteurs and what they cause, let me tell you the story of the stallion. Now, in old China, there was a farmer and he had a beautiful stallion. And his neighbors told him, look, there is an exhibition in the fair and you can win a prize. They have all these stallions and they will choose the best stallion. I really think your stallion could be a winner. So he takes the stallion. So this farmer takes the stallion to the fair, and they have this pageant, or how you call it, right? And indeed, he wins first prize, gets money for this beautiful stallion that he has. And people are coming up to him and congratulate him and say, wow, this is so great. This is good. You won some money. And all the farmer says is, what is good? What is bad? And people don't understand it, but they're a little bit confused. But okay, days go on, and stallion is back in his farm. And some night, his stallion gets stolen. And his neighbors come to him and say, oh, no, sorry, we are so sorry. Your stallion is stolen. This is such bad luck. And again, the farmer says, you know, who knows what is good or what is bad? And his neighbors are dazzled a little bit, but they leave it at that, and they say goodbye to the farmer. But some days later, the stallion returns and he brings home some mares. And his neighbors come to him and say, oh, you're so lucky. This is so good. Look what happened. Your stallion is back. And again, this farmer says, who knows what's good or what's bad? Again, his neighbors are a little bit dazzled, but time goes on. And one of the next weeks, his son is riding in some mares, falls off a mare, and breaks his leg. And again, his neighbors are coming to him and say, oh, man, this is such bad luck. Your son can't help you anymore on the farm, broke his leg. Oh, we are so sorry for you. This is such bad news. But again, the farmer says, he knows what is good. He knows what's bad. Again, his neighbors are baffled. They don't understand why this farmer reacts this kind of way. And a few months later, or a few weeks later, war breaks out in the country. And soldiers come into the village. And they take every boy who is able to fight with them. But of course, the farmer's son has broken his leg, so they don't take him. And now, his neighbors come again. And again, they are telling him, oh man, you're so lucky. Look what happened now. And then again he says, well, who knows what's good and who knows what's bad. And then they start to understand what the farmer means. I love this story. I heard it for the first time. I love this story. And it really tells you what positive intelligence is. It really grasps the core of college positive intelligence. And that's also what we're going to see, how we're going to work with the saboteurs, and how you can really increase your peak performance. You can have healthy relationships. You can with your business partners, with your family, with everybody, and also increase a lot your overall well-being with this core value of positive intelligence. So I hope you like the story, and let's move on with the training. The question is, which perspective is true? Now, if you listen to your saboteurs, then it's all bad. You know, breaking the leg is bad. The horse that's been stolen is bad. But if you listen to your sage, everything is a gift. Everything turns out to be a gift. Now, the answer is, whichever you believe becomes true. So it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So let's see how this sage contemplation reflects on our saboteur lies. And that is causing you stress. So again, the saboteurs are causing you stress. So again, if you didn't do the assessment, go do the assessment, come back and continue this training. Now, the biggest lie of the judge is that you need X to be happy. And if the opposite of it, Y happens, you'll be miserable. So you should feel stressed because you can't guarantee that you'll get X. For example, X can be the success of a project, and Y can be that it's a failure. But you feel stressed because you can't control it. So what's the truth then? Well, the truth is that you don't need anything to be happy, to happen before you are happy. You just need to stop judging yourself, circumstances, or people. So let's contemplate about this. Identify the lie that causes the stress. If Y happens, it will be bad. And contemplate how that is a lie and how even the worst case scenario could be converted into a gift. This will eliminate the main source of your stress. Exactly what is the worst thing that can happen? You know, if you do that exercise, you'll find that at the end of all this thinking, well, the worst that can happen is that you have no home, no house, no car, no nothing, but you're still here, you're still there, you're still breathing, you're still alive, you're still healthy, right? So if you look at it like that, it's another way of looking at things. And that's what the sage brain does, another way looking of things. Now, what's the lie of the avoider? Now, if you avoid dealing with unpleasant or stressful tasks or conflicts, you'll have a more pleasant and happier life. And that is indeed a lie. So what's the truth here? Well, if you avoid important things, they'll grow in their negative impact and cause you more stress. The more you avoid things, the more things will pile up, and that will give you more stress. Right? So those things only live in the survivor brain region. In sage mode, you can handle some exact tasks without any negative emotion. So if you start to avoid, bring yourself to sage mode and do what needs to be done. Contemplation is do a lot of PQ reps to activate this PQ brain. Go to your sage, right? And you will have another energy, and you will not avoid the things that need to be done. You can then move into calm, clear-headed action against what you've been avoiding. What's the lie of the controller? Well, the controller says if you work hard enough, you can control things to go exactly your way. That would produce the best outcome, which would make you happy and less stressed. But that's the lie. So what is the truth? Control is not possible in life. Life and human dynamics are messy, fluid, and impossible to control. You can't control the wind and the waves, but you can become a great surfer, right? So the contemplation here is how you can stick with your aspiration while incorporating and co-creating with unexpected events or outcomes and inputs from others. How do you do that? Well, enjoy becoming a better surfer. Look forward to the inevitable, unexpected, uncontrollable, rather than be surprised or upset by it. So here he is. What's the lie of the hyperachiever? Talked about the hyperachiever earlier. And a lot of entrepreneurs and business people are hyperachievers. And the lie here is you will be happy if you achieve the next thing. But that's a lie. So what's the truth? There will be no end to this next big thing required by your hyperachiever. There will always be a next thing. This causes constant stress along the way about whether you'll make it. Happiness is an internal state of mind and best experienced in every step along the way, not waiting for the final achievement or coming to this mountaintop. And again, a lot of business people, a lot of entrepreneurs have this hyperachiever, but deep down inside, they feel unfulfilled and are not happy. So be less fixated on the final outcome as something you need to be happy. Find what's inherently interesting and enjoyable in every step, so that regardless of the final outcome, the journey would be worthwhile. And paradoxically, this orientation will make it more likely to achieve your outcome. So what's the lie of the hyper-rational? Hyper-rational says the most important thing is being rational and analytically right. So totally survival brain, right? Analytical brain. Emotions are just messy and distracting from your objective rational thinking. They just distract us, emotions. Now, what is the truth? Human beings are primarily emotional, not rational. And emotions offer critical data for how to connect with human beings. They offer so much data, so much more data, that you can't neglect it, right? So have them feel heard and valued, inspire them or motivate people with these emotions. Contemplation here is be fascinated by emotions and grateful for their powerful value in relating to persuading, motivating or inspiring others, and in knowing yourself. What's the lie of the hypervigilant? Well, the hypervigilant says is being constantly anxious will enable you to protect yourself and others against risks and dangers. But that's a lie. So what's the truth? The anxious and exhausted mind is extremely inefficient in distinguishing between real danger versus false alarms. You need your calm, clear-headed sage mind to be fierce and effective in protecting yourself and others. You know, if you are constantly vigilant, if you say you have to defend your village, right, and you have to call out when there's a danger, and each time the leaves move, you're crying out, there's somebody, right? This is the anxiousness. And when there really is something, people won't listen anymore. But when you are focused and calm, you will only call out if there is real danger. So here again, the contemplation here is contemplate yourself in calm, clear-headed mode, being laser focused and fierce in protecting yourself and others. Now, what's the lie of the pleaser? Pleasing others will have them like you more and be there for you when needed. But that's a lie. What's the truth? Being a pleaser reduces people's trust and respect in you. This results in them not knowing what your needs are or be willing to satisfy those needs. So you'll get the opposite effect. Contemplation here is contemplate yourself saying no to the people or asking them fairly for your own needs. No is so important for pleasers. See this as a way of you actually caring for others, as it reduces their dependency on you. It also respects them by telling them your truth. It deepens mutual trust and respect. So saying no is very hard for a pleaser, but it's really necessary. What's the lie of the restless? Well, you're missing out on more interesting stuff. You can do better than what you are doing. That's the lie. But what's the truth? What's in front of you can infuse with endless fascination if you're 100% present. Now look at the palm of your hand. Look at what's going on here. Look at all the lines. Just take the time to explore. When you look at it, you see all these things that you've never seen before. Right? This was just a few seconds. Were you stressed doing this? No, because in the present, there's an endless amount of beauty to be fascinated about. And when we are in the present, we don't feel stressed. So that's the truth. Contemplation here is experience 100% presence with a bite of food, for example, or 100% visually focused on a plant, or listen to the loudest sound, or whatever. But get yourself being present. For the restless, that's really important, because this enables you to see that deep fulfillment is possible in any moment if you are truly present. What's the lie of the stickler? Well, creating perfect order in everything will give you peace of mind. But the opposite is true. You're constantly anxious that things aren't perfect enough. You miss to attend to things that matter the most, and that will give you your stress. Nothing is ever perfect. So the contemplation here is create an 80-20% buckets and contemplate putting 80% of what you worry about in the bucket where good enough is good enough. That's the contemplation. Start doing that and realize that perfection doesn't exist. Now, what's the lie of the victim? Bad things are more likely to happen to you and to be done to you. But that's a lie. So what is the truth here? Your own habit of amplifying and anticipating the negative has become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you constantly consider yourself as a victim, you will be the victim, and these bad things will happen to you. So the contemplation here is contemplate amplifying and anticipating the positives about yourself and others' treatment of you. Right? Be more positive. Start to change. Don't think that the whole world is against you. So these were all the saboteurs. In short, of course, we don't have really time to go deeper into, but this gets you a general idea of how to avoid stress. And most importantly, why these saboteurs that you have, that we all have, are causing you stress, and how you can avoid stress by changing from this reptile survivor brain to your sage brain. So what I can do, of course, this is now something you will grasp in at the end of the training. I'll explain that to you later. But there are some quick wins that I can give you, some tips and tricks that you can start using immediately to reduce your stress. Now, the first technique is ask your elder self and look back at your life. Let's suppose your phone gets stolen, right? This will cause you stress. I'm sure about it. Now, look at the end of your life. Look upon yourself as an elder wise person sitting in a chair, very well at health, very well at mind, and look back at that event. What would that person say about it? And surely, with your wiser self, you will say, it was just a phone you lost. This has nothing to do with your life. It doesn't impact your life a bit, actually. So that's one thing you can do when you have these stressy moments, and actually there's nothing to stress about. It's just a phone, right? The other thing you can do is a 10-second PQ rep, and we'll do it now. So you can even do it with your eyes open. You can do it wherever you want, but let's start with our eyes closed so you can feel all the sensations. Just put your hands together, close your eyes, and just move your fingertips over each other. Feel the ridges. And you feel the ridges, move towards your whole hand, touch your whole palm with your fingertips, and feel all these sensations, right? Feel the sensations. can open your eyes. That's a 10-second rep. You immediately feel yourself getting calmer. You immediately feel that this is such an easy trick, and you can do it everywhere. You know, you can do it even during a meeting. When you are sitting in a meeting, you can do it with your eyes open, and it will activate your sage brain. So it will reduce your stress. Simple thing, 10 seconds PQ rep. The next thing is a little bit more elaborated, and you need to take 5-10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes. And it's the 3 gifts technique. What's that? Well, let's take again the losing of our phone. And if something happens to you, just sit down in a quiet space and think about 3 things that are positive that have come out of this situation, or will come out of the situation, or could come out of the situation. Now, with your phone, for example, you could say, "Oh, now I need a new phone, so I have to buy a new phone, and this new phone is so much more fun. I'm so happy I have a new phone now." This could be a gift. Another gift could be that you decide, "Oh, I didn't have this iCloud thing in order, and now, I have to do it because now I know the importance of it." So it gives you wisdom. It gives you something to do to prevent when the next thing happens. So that's a real gift. And now just think of a third gift that could be, if your phone is stolen, what could be the third gift? It could be anything. It could be that you find a way to be more careful with your phone, to lay it somewhere at the same place all the time, or whatever. So just think about a third way. And that's the third thing you can do. These 3 things are so valuable. Just do them. Just sit down, and these things will stop your reptile brain and will push you into sage mode. Very simple things. Now, of course, this training can't fully give you, let's say, the black belt sensation. You're all white bands, right? And you want to go to black belt in this reducing stress thing. And again, it takes a lifetime of practice, but the practice is just a few minutes a day, right? And it's muscle building, but you have to start somewhere, of course. But what you have now is 20% insight. So now you know, okay, these saboteurs cause my stress, positive intelligence is this. You have gained a lot of insights by listening to this training. But if you want to have change in your life, then it's not about insights. Because again, insight is only 20%. It's about this 80% mental muscle that you need to build. So, and how do you build this? Well, you start with practicing having a very intense initial practice. It's like, if you want to ride a bike, first days you go every day and you practice, and you maybe half an hour every day, whatever, until you really can ride that bike. So that's the initial way to learn to ride a bike. And that's also the initial way to grasp this mental fitness, to understand this positive intelligence, and to have the benefits of it. So that will take you 15 minutes a day, that's all, for 6 to 8 weeks. So you have the foundation. And again, if you have the foundation, it will be with you for the rest of your life. It's like installing a new operating system on your computer. Everything will turn better, will move better, will go faster. And that's exactly what you are doing with your brain. So how do we install it? Simple. So it's during the duration of 6 weeks. You watch a 1-hour video every week, 15 minutes of practice, and you get an app for that. So the app warns you, now I have to do my practice, now I have to do this. It gives you tips, it gives you tricks, it follows everything, it's up what you need to do. So it's really simple. And this app, you can, it's a little bit as a personal mental fitness coach. And in 6 weeks' times, you have this fully operational system in your brain, which you can use your whole life. What are the requirements? Well, you need to be committed. And that's why, if this resonates with you and if you're interested to know more about this positive intelligence and this mental fitness program, let's just talk for 15 minutes, right? I'll give you my website and you can book a call and we just talk about why you want to do this. Because if you're not serious about it, if you're not serious about learning to ride a bike, you will never learn to ride a bike because you won't be motivated, you will give up after a few minutes, and so on and so on. And it's the same here. You have to be motivated, you have to be serious because it's a 6-week commitment. But it's a lifetime reward. So contact me through my website, through my email, and book a call. Let's just have a chat. You can book a call to my website or just do me an email, I'll send you the link, whatever. Get in touch with me. And no obligations. If during our first call and our chat, you say, hey, no, it's nothing for me, it's too much, it's this, it's that, then that's okay. But if you really want to change your life, you really want to change your overall well-being, your peak performance, reducing stress, then I can say from the bottom of my heart, this is it, this works, and this works for a lifetime. No motivational thing, no motivational speak, no thing that just lasts for a few weeks, but it will last for a lifetime. I hope you have enjoyed the training. Take care.